Hello, my name is Mark Williams from the EHP.com. Just here today to do a short review on a training course I attended this week at Oxford Council. It was a fire safety risk assessment course. It's something that has been advertised on the site for a few weeks. The course started on Tuesday. It's a 3-day course. And the first 2 days, I mean, think about the course structure. The first 2 days were lectures, and on the final day there was a house inspection, followed by where you had to write a risk assessment on the inspection, and that's the actual the assessed part of the course. In terms of the course content, I suppose you could really there's really supposed to be 5 elements to the actual the lecture side of the course. You had first you had fire development, then you had passive fire safety fire safety measures, active fire safety measures, and then also looked at the legislative requirements of the regulatory reform for fire safety order, and also just looked at the principles of fire risk assessments. This content was actually applied to fire safety in residential accommodation, and also a variety of other types of premises. Namely, was I think they looked at offices. There was hotels, and I think there was like a leisure complex. While they're those they were really used as examples just to illustrate how fire safety, how people behave in fires, and how fires develop. Because that's where the actual that's where the studies are being done. Personally, I just found that bit interesting in terms of just understanding how fire safety is applied to a variety of premises, depending on the way the actual premise is actually used. In terms of course delivery, it was the course was delivered in to be honest, it's typical nowadays in that you get and that's not a negative. It's in terms of you get the PowerPoint presentations, you get so you watch some videos, you have some group discussions, and then you'll have some group activities as well. And it was effective over the 2 days, that type of course delivery, in that the variety kept things interesting. I wasn't bored. I wasn't nodding off or anything. It was it kept me engaged. In terms of the trainer, he was knowledgeable. He knew his stuff. I suppose the way I look at it, all you really want is a trainer who knows his stuff enough to be able to get the course content across, and also comfortably handle any questions which us enforcement officers tend to throw at people. And he handled all the questions very comfortably, and he gave very good answers. So yeah, the trainer was fine. In terms of what I got out of the course, the best things I liked about the course, I suppose I would put that down to the discussions about human behaviour in fire, and also the development of the way a fire develops. When it came to the human behaviour discussions, we were asked, how do we think people behave in fires? And I instinctively thought, well, people are going to panic, and actually it was the opposite really. And people apparently people tend not to react quick enough, and that tends to be the problem, in that they don't react until things get pretty bad, and sometimes that can be too late for some people. The other thing I found interesting was the way fires develop. I guess I guess I must be pretty typical to most people in that I don't actually have much direct involvement in actual fires. Um, Occasionally, when the weather's good, I'll like the barbecue. More often when it's cold, as it has been lately, I'll like the wood burner. And my experience has been that it just takes a while to get a fire going. Um, and this, and I guess I know it's obvious, but you just realise that that's an uncontrolled fire is very different from a controlled fire, and an uncontrolled fire can very quickly get out of hand. And in the course, this was actually best illustrated when the trainer showed a video of a fire that happened at a US nightclub called the Station nightclub. Um, yeah, we watched the video. It was a bit harrowing in places, but it really did illustrate how bad, how quickly, seriously, how quickly things can turn pretty bad from what starts out to be like what appears to some people might maybe a small fire at the back, and how quickly it can get out of control. Um, it's just a 13-minute video, and I actually will add a link to the video in the bit below the actual, well, so in the notes part of this video, and if you're watching this video on the website, there'll be the video will be embedded lower down as well, lower down in the post. But I think it is a must watch for those who deal with fire safety in I suppose any premises really. If I was to, I suppose if someone was to criticise the course, I guess some people may criticise the fact that examples were used. I mean, considering that this is a course targeted to enforcement officers who deal with HMOs, I suppose some people could criticise the course and say, well, it's used, the examples were used which weren't HMOs. To be honest, I didn't have a problem with that at all. Actually, I was quite happy with it. It's just interesting, and it was just interesting to see how fire safety requirements change or are different when you're not catering for people who are sleeping, and I just found that interesting. So in conclusion, I really enjoyed the course. I found it was a really good course. I mean, I inspect a lot of HMOs, and it's just good every now and again to be with a bunch of other people who inspect HMOs, and it just it helps sort of calibrate your mind, making sure you're doing the right things, and also just reinforcing what's important. When you're doing your inspections or your fire safety risk assessments, what's the real key things you've got to look out for, and what it's all about. So that was, that's one of the things I'd say about the course for experienced people. In terms of people who are new to HMOs or not very experienced, again, I would say it was a good course for those people, because it really gives you the foundation, the key things which will help you, what you have to have in mind when you're actually doing your fire safety risk assessments and inspections. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the course. I guess there is another benefit to the course, and that is to those who operate in the private sector, in that by completing the course, you actually can, it allows you to join the Institute of Fire Engineers as a fire risk assessor, and as such you can actually offer fire risk assessments as a service to clients, and that's what I would like to do with the course now that I've done it, assuming I pass, and unfortunately, because I'm still just just a few short days after completing the course. I'm still awaiting my results. I can't really say, I can't really say, how easy it is to actually get on the course, to actually become a member. But once I do, I'll, if anybody wants to know, please maybe give me a call or drop me a line in probably 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, that's it. I mean, if anyone else is actually interested in doing the course, please, and like I said, I definitely recommend it. Please drop me a line, because I'm constantly in touch with the guys over at Oxford, and maybe, if you wanted a course arranged, then I can sort of definitely help arrange that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.